get on with this. So this is going to be a quick update on what's happened with the Oculus in the last few months. I believe I did a presentation late last year, August last year, yeah. Which was a bit of a demo. I think we had the Oculus, a couple more pieces in there to show people what was going on. But of course, a lot has happened, and this is just one of the things that has happened in the last few months. It's funny, it's like, a lot of big news came out from Oculus, which is GDC and stuff like that, and then this happened and everyone forgot. And that's everyone that spoke about for ages and since then, really. But everyone's forgotten, Development Kit 2 is about to come out and that sort of stuff. So,
well, obviously.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world for video.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll come back to that and we'll concentrate on some other stuff first. Okay. So since last I did the talk, the Development Kit 1 was out at the time. So I'm not going to sort of rehash about what happened before that and how Oculus got started and in the previous year GDC and that sort of stuff, and they sort of, everyone knows that's a bit of French history. But what has happened since then, there's been multiple other prototypes that have come out through various of the shows that Oculus has been presenting at and they've shown off. So after the DK1 there was the HD Rift, which looked a little bit different, quite similar. Only difference was a high resolution screen. Everyone sort of said, wow, that's so much better. Already, we can see the future again. And this has happened in every single prototype that came out. There's like, oh, so much better, getting closer. And then we had later on we had the Crystal Cove, which has a bit of extra tech, which I believe came from Valve, which was the low latency, which was actually what they call low persistence tech in the screens, which is quite interesting tech, and we'll talk about it a bit later when I actually go into a bit more detail of what's in the Development Kit 2 in a second. But more noticeably, it had full head tracking using an optical-based system, where it actually has little infrared LEDs all over the headset.
Just dots.
Yep, little dots, and you can't see it in Development Kit 2, but they're there. And it has a little camera, which you have to set up. Very similar to how the PlayStation Morpheus is going to work. But they have said this is not their end goal. They don't want this to be the final solution, and there's many reasons for that. If you think about trying to set this up for the other things like the treadmill that's floating around, has anyone seen that one? What's it called?
The Omni?
Omni treadmill, yeah. And you just can't use that in this situation because that's designed to go 360 degrees, but you've got a camera in one direction and it will lose your tracking as soon as you turn your back on it. So what are you going to do there? They haven't announced support for multiple cameras, or that's a bit of a pain to set up. There's still many things to work out. But as I said, this is not designed to be their long-term solution. And I believe they actually don't want to have any sort of external tracking on it. They actually just want to use the internal accelerometers and magnometers. But they have that currently for the rotation. But to do that in all axes is very hard without getting some drift going on in there. So they obviously haven't managed to solve that yet, but hopefully soon. Hopefully before the actual consumer version 1 that's been dubbed, whenever that comes out. Whenever now. And of course, Development Kit 2. So Development Kit 1 sort of taped down. They sort of said, oh, we're sort of it's not manufacturing that anymore because we've run out of a certain component. And everyone sort of said, oh yeah, that's bullshit. We all know Development Kit 2 is about to come out. So there's rumored for a long time, and sure enough, during this GDC, they announced Development Kit 2 and pre-order was happening straight away. And in fact, shipping in July. So it's not long, especially compared to the last one, which was, I believe, I was 9 or 10 months I waited for the Development Kit 1 when I first pre-ordered it from Kickstarter. So no idea to wait time. But
how many people ordered the DK2?
Yeah, I was going to say, did you have DK1?
Colleagues that work upstairs in IFB.
Oh, yeah.
Some other teams nearby have it.
Yep.
But we're going to get our own one for our team.
Yeah. I believe I ordered one and another guy works on one, but I think that company ordered 5 or something about it. So they're fully into it. And a couple of the treadmill thingy and whatever else.
Out of interest, do you guys know how large your order numbers are for them? Because I got mine about 12 hours after they announced it. Mine's I think in the 9,000s.
Yeah, I can't remember. I literally ordered mine that's rather embarrassing. About an hour after it was announced. So right. I was up for the
What time of the morning was that?
I was up at 4 a.m. so getting in because I was hoping they were going to give preference to people who signed up for the original Kickstarter, but they've got it anymore.
No, they've got their Facebook money. They don't care if they do
Yeah,
that anymore.
there's a lot of discussion about that as well. Talking about how there's big sort of crowdsourcing and funding sort of works, but interesting use of different product. Okay, not only is they've been releasing constant updates since the development kit one, they've also been hoovering up all the talent in the game industry who have any reputation for working in VR, basically. So all the big names, John Carmack and Michael Abrush, are the most notable, but of course a few of the other employees as well tag along with them with Oculus. So really, who's who of VR have ended up in there. And of course, finally, Facebook, $2 billion-ish.
I think you need to put your pinky next to your mouth when you say that.
But does anyone know the situation with their CTO? Because there's a guy the other day that gave a talk and he was the Oculus CTO and he wasn't Carmack.
They have multiple CTOs, do they?
I have no idea.
Yeah, might be labeled incorrectly or something.
What that guy gave a talk as the CTO of Oculus, and he was like, yeah, we're very excited, blah, 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 and then Carmack gives a statement, and he's also a CEO, so I don't know.
They've got so many blah, 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 O's, who knows,
Carmack's working primarily on the Android side of things, isn't he? The Android SDK?
Yeah, he's very,
PC stuff.
he's working on all sort of the integration, sort of how his programming is going to integrate everything, but he is very motivated into moving it toward, integrated sort of headset type thing.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they might have just separated teams. Maybe they have a CTO for something else.
I think we're going to be the CTO. Make sure the structure, but of course, due to this Facebook overall, there's amazing amount of kickback or lashback on Oculus. I believe even Lucky, not sure which way it is, actually came out and said they're actually getting death threats on just due to the buyout. And they expected some backlash, but not to be physically threatened.
I wonder if there's a bit of PR behind that. You can take some very obviously sarcastic comments in the internet and then refer to them as being death threats.
Yeah. Well, those 13-year-olds are nasty, though.
Yeah.
I reckon they're just piping it up.
I doubt anyone's actually, voting in with voice disguises and telling them to put bombs in their cars.
Yeah.
I think it's some 12-year-old on
a forum somewhere.
What's weird is that Facebook wants Oculus.
Yeah.
That's of course the weird bit.
Well, what's even weirder is what they've been saying since they bought Oculus.
War industries like this and you expand.
With Oculus actually saying.
I just want to bring together social media VR. It's magic they can make it work.
Is it?
The positioning as a platform company more and more, right? Like when they're
Yeah, obviously that's the thing. You're really trying to transition away from Facebook.
It makes sense though, if you're going to build the metaverse,
Yeah.
read the books.
I started reading that book, First few chapters, I don't know what the hell's going on in that book.
Pizza delivery or?
Yeah, the pizza delivery. Why does the pizza delivery guy go around and samurai swords anyway? That's Snow Crash 23. It's apparently required reading if you want to do anything in virtual reality.
Apparently, Ready Player One as well.
Yeah.
I haven't read it either.
To the stack. But yeah, there's been quite a lot of mentioning forward due to the Facebook buy of Oculus, especially as I was saying, the crowdfunding and the structure and how that works, because a lot of people felt betrayed in many ways because they'd actually put in what they felt was a financial, what their sort of financials, if it was a share or something like that, and they wanted some sort of say in how the company went, which of course they don't actually have.
Because it's pre-sales. It's just pre-sales.
Exactly. So, but people have that sort of feeling, they think, I put in the share. But there's actually been feedback where people say they want to actually change it around and have actual crowd funding where you do have a share in the company or something like that. But we'll see how that goes.
I believe that's exceptionally complex legally, which is the reason that
America apparently just passed some regulation to make it easier.
There's a platform that tried that on World VC where they tried to do aggregate rounds basically. It's super tough.
Yeah.
So you gotta agree on terms for investment.
Yeah.
Companies doing this and stuff.
So The regulation just went.
Oculus is doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
The regulation I think that just went through in America was apparently there was a restriction of how much percentage of your annual income or something you could actually throw at a company or something like that. And they've actually removed those restrictions or something along the lines. So it's not something
For us Aussies, it's almost impossible.
Yeah. I mean, it took how long to take for a Kickstarter to get here? It's going to take
I can't imagine that would be popular anyway. How many companies are going to want to like divvy out 100% of their worth in shares to random people?
You just create, they just create a subsidiary company and then do it that. They wouldn't do it off their existing assets. They would start a new company with 0 assets and then Kickstarter into that.
Yeah.
So the only assets in the company what comes from Kickstarter, they won't risk any of it.
Okay.
A lot of these Kickstarters are zero assets companies to begin with, so like straight off the bat, 100% of the company's owned by so-called contributors. Or, you know.
Well, no, I'll bet that there'll be, they wouldn't give them 100%, I bet there'd be a retained percentage in the Kickstarter.
You can easily get watered down later on anyway. So your share of the company you buy might not be that fixed same share later on. It's just another bigger investor in. So what are your shares on?
Is Zuckerberg really good at that? Yeah.
Sorry?
I think Zuckerberg's quite good at that already. Yeah, in practice. Moving on, and due to that and that Oculus buyout of Facebook, it's got a lot of mass media showing up on the regular news. There are a lot of people saying that there's a good aspect to it. It's actually brought a lot more publicity to VR and also to other VR solutions as well. There are a lot more things showing out and coming out of woodwork and stuff like that. And here are a few, obviously. The dubious dive, for sure. Who knows what it is?
Maybe football career.
It used to be called the Open Dive. Anyone seen that? It's just like a 3D printed solution. You just slap your phone up front of it. I'll go into a few more details of the last two in a minute. Yes. Yeah. So it really is just like
a gear totem.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, I'll show you in a second. True Player Gear is actually the company name. Totem is the actual thing. Yes. So there's the Game Face Mark IV. I never saw Mark 1, 2, or 3. It looks quite interesting if you want to do a bit of research, but there's also another one that's on this called the Infinity Eye. Has anyone seen that one? It's like the Oculus but surround vision, so it sort of comes out and goes, it's like a massive set of screens all around you. It's a bit bizarre. Yes, the Sony Morpheus, of course, just heard about that one. True Player Gear Totem, and the one alternative which I find most interesting is the Suwon Cortex, which I'll talk about in a second as well. So this is the True Player Gear Totem. I chose this one specifically because it is one of the closest match to the Oculus Rift. And it's, as you see down below, it's actually going to be launching their own Kickstarter campaign soon, so we'll see how that goes. But the stats are quite similar. 90 degrees field of vision. I couldn't confirm if that's vertical or angle across the screen. Oculus is 90 degrees horizontally, and I believe 110 degrees they call it, across the angle or something. So if it's 90 degrees horizontal, it matches. And of course the 1080p OLED screen, no details about what screen it is yet, what refresh rate or anything like that, but the only thing that they seem to have, which is different to the Oculus, is it uses onboard cameras, which you can see at the front there, for positional tracking, which is quite interesting. So they sort of reversed it. So instead of having the camera on a desk or something, you've got them actually embedded in the actual device itself, and it uses something probably similar to what you do in visual effects, where you pick out some points quite simply out of the actual screen, so try and locate where they are and track them in 2D as they sort of like blur across the screen, So something like a high contrast and hard edge is a good tracking point. They'll try and trap as many as they can, while keeping up.
Now that we're doing that, they show pictures of rooms covered with QR
Yeah,
codes.
the QR codes. Yeah, that was interesting. They saw that demo. It was like, it's great. And he's like, okay. And so when you can actually go in and set up a room by slapping, plastering the whole wall to get set up, that'd be great.
Pretty sure you should be able to do adjusting recognition without ping pong balls or QR codes.
Yeah. Well, that's the idea. So they're trying to do here, obviously. So on Cortex, I said this is the most interesting alternative to the Oculus. demoed at GDC, and there's a very interesting video that's worthwhile watching out there. They take a very different approach to Oculus in that they're actually using the mobile phone, which I was very much against at the beginning, until they sort of, because of course the mobile phones, everyone's quite different and that sort of stuff, until they came at one interesting point, and that is the generational cycle of the mobile phone is a lot faster than generational cycle of what a virtual reality headset is going to be. But there's other possible problems with that as well. I mean, a mobile phone doesn't have the desire to try and do really high refresh rates. They've got no sort of emphasis to try and accomplish that. So it's not going to be a screen specifically designed for VR, where that has very specific requirements as well.
Not to mention the heaviest part of the mobile phone is the honking great battery, and there's no reason when you're doing VR that should be hanging off the front of your face.
Yeah, which really well,
But it's also wireless.
yeah, exactly. Also, being wireless, this actually has some processing power of its own inside as well for its tracking. It actually uses LiDAR. In the demo, what they've done is they're actually in a room and they actually had the exact room measurements in the system to know exactly how close and how far you are getting away from each wall and that sort of stuff. And the demo was you start off in that room because it has cameras in the front, which are just displays, and then you walk into the light and you get transported into a virtual reality location. So it was, it threw a lot of people, but quite interesting demo. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. Okay. So back onto the details of the actual Oculus Rift and the development kit too. As I was saying before, it was based on the Crystal Code prototype. It was the IR LEDs. Actually, I believe it's called near infrared LEDs, oddly enough, in the head. So even though you can't see it, I believe what's going on there is, from what I can tell, is the actual plastic covering is actually infrared transparent. So the infrared will actually go straight through that plastic without any interference at all, even though from our spectrum we can't see through it at all. So it uses those to basically track its location through the camera and sort of stuff. It actually has a lot on there, so you might even get 180 degrees rotation. Actually, of course, the screen's the biggest upgrade. So we've gone from, I believe, the first one was 720, which you didn't even get full resolution out of, due to the fact that they went from they were designed for a 5-inch screen, and then very much toward the end they had to upgrade to a 7-inch screen, but the lenses were still designed for the 5-inch, so you didn't even get, you sort of got clipped off the tops and sides a little bit, so you didn't get full 720. So this one is back to a 5-inch something screen, I believe, and is 1080, so 960 by 1080 per eye, which is quite good.
Have you seen
The DK2.
Has anyone seen it?
Yeah.
With a look into
It was
it?
great.
Yeah.
Really? It's impressive the low resolution.
No, well, I mean, you can tell, it still looks like a bit like a CRT.
Yeah.
That's not exactly crisp, but it's great.
Yeah.
Like you got.
Can you read text on it? That's the
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
It looks
I
like
look at this and it's 1080p and it's taking up 1 degree of my field of view right there, and I can see the pixels. If that was my entire vision, that wouldn't be enough.
Did you try the DK1?
Yeah, I did. It was horrible. I hated it.
Well, I mean, some people, so for example, when I tried it, I felt great. It felt a lot smoother and stuff than the first one. But
There was this
my colleague got nauseous within 15 seconds.
Okay.
That's just how, it's still not perfect. So some people just not.
So can you see the individual color elements of the pixels clearly as well? You could. Yeah.
Still,
That's not good.
But it's good. It's like playing on PS2, right? Alright, fine.
Yeah. I'll let you do better than that.
There are a lot of factors to sort of put itself toward whether you feel nauseous or not. One being, of course, that they don't adjust the lenses in and out still. So if you require glasses and you put on the wrong lenses in there, you're going to blur, start with blurred vision, stuff like that. So there's that problem, as well as, and also the low persistence tech, which is one of the biggest changes from the DK1. Which, interestingly enough, they've sort of said you want to target 90 frames per second for the final sort of game and sort of stuff, which is quite interesting considering the screen and the current one maximum refresh rate 75. So yeah, so I guess 75 is going to be sort of the cap at the moment. But I'm sure, does everyone sort of know how low persistence sort of stuff is? How it's going to be?
They actually do every other frame is black.
Kind of, yeah, it's sort of along those lines. So from my understanding of it, how it works is in your current LED screens, you get a frame, it stays on screen until the next frame comes along and then replaces it with that next new frame, right? In low persistence tech, what's going on is when a frame comes up, that frame is only actually correct for that split second when it's done, and then as soon as that split second's over, or it's not valid anymore, you know, you're still turning your head or something like that. So what they actually do is they flash it on the screen and then turn it black. So it only stays on for a split second and then it waits as black till the next frame comes along and then it flashes that flame up there. Hence the really high frame rate, otherwise you're going to get sort of like the old school movies, sort of like flicker as it like builds, as it drops and increases the frame rate. Yeah.
So then LCD then?
This one's OLED.
OLEDs don't have a scan backlight or anything, so they don't do that.
No, the whole thing will go.
Yeah, basically
Turn it off.
flash the whole
Yeah.
thing on for a moment and then
Yeah.
just turn it off.
They turn it off.
And what they talked about, the persistence on it is really small. And that's where they really like. It's like at least fluoros technically do the same thing. So it's the whole thing of like once you've got the refresh rate high enough, you shouldn't technically see it. But it's just a question of how high you get it.
So they still VSync bound. So, you know, if they display an image and then turn it off, but the other image isn't ready because they drop like a frame rate, drop the frame, and you're going to get like a lot of black, and then your image is just tinted because it seems a lot more dim because you're seeing a lot more black.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think they'll be waiting for a whole frame.
Because Nvidia's got an interesting piece of technology in regards to VSync, where I think they need to partner with specific hardware manufacturers so they can actually draw. They can tell the monitor when to draw the frame rather than wait for it.
But that's different as well. It still uses the same thing where it leaves the frame on the screen until the next frame's done. And then it tells it, okay, frame's done, now draw the next one on there. Whereas this one actually just flicks it up for a second.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can still flash black.
latency stuff in the new one. There's specific hardware built into the DK2 that does latency detection and gives feedback on when the frames. They've actually built stuff, like the old one didn't have it, the new one has stuff that does basically that and also gives you latency feedback.
Kind of, yeah. I'm not sure about your pronunciation of things, sorry. So the latency tester was actually an add-on for the first one, where you actually get it and replace one of the lenses with the tester, but apparently it's built into every single DK2. So it's quite interesting.
I'm very concerned about flicker on displays because I'm flicker sensitive. I don't chuck a fit, but I get headaches. I can tell you the refresh rate from one by the amount of pain I feel. So modern LEDs, so many screens are LEDs, and they control their brightness by actually flickering the LEDs, and I can't stand it.
It's not like control the brightness, they just don't think it's the same thing. Like modern LED scanning backlights do it for reduce the smear, you know. They only hit backlight at the moment the pixels are off colour and they turn it off in between.
And it works, it's lovely and smooth routine spacing.
But I'm surprised, like AMOLED shouldn't have to do that. Like, that thing's just an electrical, it's an LED. Like, why does it smear? I didn't realise that they had a response time problem on AMOLED screens in the first place.
It's not that, it's just like the actual drawing of the actual.
I was going to say Reed Abrash's blog on Battle, which I presume is still up. It's like you can, there are literally, it's a really complex issue. It's one of those things where you realise how much there is to VR once you start reading the stuff Abrash has gone into.
So what is it though, the response time thing? Like you shouldn't see pixels in an improper state on an
To explain it would literally be an entire talk.
I'll go and find it. I find that surprising.
Abrash's blog has like page after page of going into detail about how it works.
It's all about what we've got the refresh rate of the actual how many frames per second the actual game's throwing out there as well versus what the screen's doing. So I mean, if the screen's doing 75, but you're still only doing so many frames per game from the game engine, I mean, that's going to be incorrect. So as I'm saying, if I go back to an example before, the best one is if you're turning your head quite quickly. When it renders, that's only valid for only a split second, and then for the rest of the time, whilst waiting for the next frame, if that's still displayed, that's incorrect.
Oh, okay, so it's a conceptual thing, your mind somehow quantizes the motion.
And so when the next frame comes along and it's correct, and then it's replaced with that, for that time it's incorrect, it's getting sort of a blurring.
Mind. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Because your eyes are really evolved to be able to counter-rotate your head, so you can look at that chair and you can turn your head left and right, and your eyes still say, pin your right on it. But if you've got a screen stuck in front of your head and you do the same thing, the screen's sliding back and forth across what you're seeing.
Yeah.
So the persistence smears.
Yeah, no, that's totally. I get it now. I can see the problem.
The keyword there is smear. I mean, there's different
Yeah, when it said smear, I thought the LCD, LCD response time problems and shit.
Yeah.
Actually, this just reminded me, like, there's two pieces of tech I forgot also, like G-Sync and the Tegra K1.
Yeah.
You guys looked at that.
The G-Sync is the one I believe you were talking about from NVIDIA. Yeah.
And the demo they had was amazing.
Yeah. It's
So
quite an interesting idea, but it's almost the inverse of this stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like they had this, like the best demo, because they had these like benchmark stuff, the rotating shit, whatever and stuff. But like their best demo was a green vertical bar that just scrolls across the screen. Have you seen that?
That's all they
It's brilliant. And then they turn like VSync off and everything, and make it run at like variable FPS and 30 and 27 and 57 and whatever. And that bar just looks disgusting on the screen. And then they turn G-Sync on and they run it at like 17 FPS and still smooth, because like that's basically good enough for you to tell it smooth as long as it runs perfectly.
Yeah, as long as there's no tearing.
Exactly.
It still looks,
Yeah.
even 40 still looks like 60 to a lot of people. Like, can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
I heard about that in the watch video.
Which means amazing stuff for level of detail on PC games.
Yeah.
Because then you could like literally double the amount of detail, like people won't even tell the difference in terms of frame rate.
Well, it catches up and makes the frame rate back up.
It's good for VR because you need to maintain a high frame rate. So, possibly.
Yeah, so
A lot of games you're going to have trouble, putting out 120, 140 frames per second.
Exactly.
So
And that's why I asked, we were back to
if they can do it, the content creators is going to want to add more stuff.
Yeah, so it will be the eternal war.
Yeah.
So that's how G-Sync, I was like, oh great, you can run games smooth at 27 FPS now. Let's just put twice as much shit on the screen.
The benchmark's going to be 10 FPS.
Yeah, back to like the silver and that sort of stuff, like when you require that high frame rate, and of course you're going to be doing that on the mobile phone platforms, it's going to be very limited what you can actually get in there. Yeah, so I mean,
It's going to lock up Android, so you run Java, it's going to run a garbage collect.
there's a lot of
Your brain is going to just hold up for a second.
a lot of hurdles across there, but that's also going to be quite interesting. Okay, and one final thing I wanted to mention, of course, which is coming out soon, is the 6 cents from the STEM. I'm going to tell this because VR is only one part of the solution, of course, and input, as everyone's mentioned, is the next big problem to solve when coming into this sort of area. And STEM is one of the more interesting ones. Apart from the Omni treadmill ones, that sort of stuff, this one's quite interesting because it's kind of like a stripped down motion tracker vocab suit that you just pick up in your hands and then click one to your hip. And you have five points you can track, and you have the control layouts on top of each hand tracking unit, that sort of thing. And this one comes out in July, about the same time as the DK2, which is quite interesting. Yeah.
You gonna get one?
I have one already, along with a few other things. But this was actually the successor to the other most popular one, the Razer Hydra. And this is actually done by the same people, which is 6 Sense is the company, who are actually behind the tech for the Razer Hydra. And a lot of people found that the Razer Hydra had quite a few shortfalls with range and accuracy, and this is the next one. So
You were ordering a Hydra one.
I do have a Hydra.
And-
I've been around for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm interested to know, because I was talking about the Morpheus stuff before, and I was saying the stuff that really convinced me was the fact that it's a package you could buy and plug in.
Yeah.
In order to do stuff with it, you've got to calibrate the headset to get the headset to be sort of in the same kind of space as the controller. Is that right?
Okay, so the most common calibration for the Razer Hydra is you pick up the two hand pieces and you hold them to your shoulders and click the buttons. Right. And that sort of gets a relation to you sort of face forward and do that, and sort of gets to where your shoulders are in the real virtual space. And you can sort of determine that when they leave with their arms out, how far you can actually get away and sort of do some simulation for the elbow stuff.
Right. And how accurate does it feel? That makes
Not
sense.
accurate. Well, that's not true. It has a few shortcomings in that, as I've mentioned here, the range for this one is that they claim 8 feet. They claim about 4 feet for Razer Hydra, but you generally get that. I mean, you do get that, but it falls off because it generates a magnetic field in that sort of that square box thing that you see, and in the razor hydrolevel's circle thing you see, it generates a magnetic field which it uses, and that falls off quite quickly. So the further you get away from it, the more inaccurate you become. So I wanted to use it for like a gun or whatever, and you pick it up and it worked in certain ranges, then you turn this way and then like it would jittering, and so hopefully this one sort of does away with that, because it also has the ability of you can add more base units. So if you want quite a large range, you can add a whole bunch of base units which you can pick up and try and lock down the